Alright, welcome back Year 9s. So far you should have gone through the process of sketching for the clock components, extruding the clock components and making them into, extruding the sketching to make the components for your clock, and then moving and putting into position all the pieces for your clock frame, like you can see on mine here. Now the next thing we're going to do is a bit of a different kind of modelling, which is called subtractive modelling. Up until this point we've just been doing additive modelling, where we make things from nothing, we add. Now we're going to take away from something in order to create a new component. So first thing I'd like you to do is click on the top right hand corner there of your Navicube, so you're looking at the back of your clock frame, and we're going to create a new sketch. So we're just going to hit the create sketch button, and we're going to actually pick one of these components. So I'm just going to pick the back of my clock there. Alright, so I'm now looking at the back of the clock frame. Right, my first thing I'm going to do is create a rectangle. So I'm going to click the 2-point rectangle button, and notice if I hover over this part of my frame, I will get a little X and a triangle up to the top left of it. And that means I'm central on that joint there, which is actually where I really need to be right now. So I'm going to click that point. I'm going to drag down until I get down to the bottom here. Now, this should be about correct, but because I can see, if we look at the dimensions for this square right now, they're 281.496 millimeters by 280.496, which means we're not quite correct. So we're going to type in 281 at the top, hit the tab key on our keyboard and type 281 for the other one, and hit enter on our keyboard. Right, we should now see that we have this wonderful, we've actually got a few different bits. We've got that little piece there, that's one piece, that piece there, and then the rest of it. But you can see they're all orange, which means they're all closed sketch profiles. So now that I've done that, and they're all in position, I'm going to hit stop sketch, and we're going to move back to the home view, and then we're going to click again on that top right hand side, so we're looking at the back of it. Now we're going to create a rebate in the back of our peak components that we've already created. So in doing this part of it, we're using subtractive modeling in order to change components that already exist. So we're going to select the back of this object and this little bit at the top here, so we've got a big square. You notice the direction that it's asking me to go is forward or out this way. I need to go in because I'm making a cut. So in order to make a cut when I do this, I need to type a negative number in here in this case, so negative 3 millimeters. All right, you can notice the operation's now changed to cut, and if we click this little arrow here, it's saying which objects do you want me to cut, and we're saying we want you to cut the frame top, the frame right, the frame base, and the frame left. And we're going 3 millimeters into all of them. Now, for example, if you decide you want the back of your clock deeper than this in your model, or in the one that you make, say you want it 10 millimeters in, you would have to change this distance to a greater amount. But we're just going to leave it at 3 for this demonstration, so you understand the processes I'm trying to teach you. So go ahead and we'll do that cut. We'll click OK. Ooh, there we go. Takes a couple of seconds on my laptop. There we go. And I've now cut in the back of the clock. All right, that's now modified all these components to have that part removed from them. Now I'm going to need to create the back of my clock now. So I'm going to turn that sketch back on so we can see that square again. I'm going to click extrude one more time and pick those two panels again. We're going to, this time, instead of cut, we're going to go to the menu here and select new component, and then put our dimension as -3 again, so -3. And now we can see it's going to make a panel in there, and we can click OK. Let's just click back to the home view, and we'll turn off our sketch, and you should see in the list here, component 5. Right, we're going to rename that to back panel. We'll hit enter. We've now got the back panel in place. We could also use the joint tool to joint it in place, and I think we might as well, seeing as we've come all this way and we know how to use joint now. So let's just turn off the top of our frame for a moment. Okay, we'll select joint. Now something looks a bit funny about my clock. Oh no, that's correct, my apologies. I'm going to click that top edge again with the circle looking like it does there. I'll turn back on my frame top and just swivel around to the back of it. This is where things are going to get a bit tricky because I need to go right in underneath it and zoom in and select that same position. Okay, it's going to be rigidly connected, and we'll say OK. And there we go. The back of our clock is now in position. There's one last task we need to do to the back of our clock face, which is to give it a hole through it that our clock mechanism could fit through. So to do that, we're going to do a bit more subtractive modeling by creating a new sketch on the back of our clock. We're going to put in 2 lines between the 2 corners, so one like that and one like that. This helps us find the center of our clock face. We'll go to sketch and down to circle and center diameter circle. And for this particular drawing, we're just going to make a 5mm hole there, just like that, and we'll press enter. Right, that dimension I've taken from the technical drawings. You can see there's a 5mm diameter hole. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've made that hole in the middle there. Right, you can see it just there. Okay, so I'll zoom back out and we'll hit stop sketch. And now we need to extrude and cut that through. So I'll click extrude. I'm going to zoom right in because I want to select all 4 little pieces like this. And we're just going to change our angle a little bit. Alright, now we can see that we're coming in from an angle, and we need to go -3mm, just like we have before, and that'll cut all the way through the back of our clock face. And click OK. And there we go, all done. It's gotten rid of our sketch, it's already turned it off for us. So we now have the clock frame with the back and the hole through. So congratulations if you've got that far. You've been able to go ahead and create an extra component there as well, which is fantastic, so well done.